Can I bake theme park Christmas cookies? That is definitely something I never thought I'd say on this channel, but today we're going to be trying to do so. What's up guys, I hope you're well. Welcome back to yet another video on the channel. As you can see, we're somewhere a little bit different today. We're actually in my kitchen, which is a bit of a change of scenery. So now that we're well into kind of, well, December now, I thought it'd be an interesting idea to kind of do a Christmas themed video for you guys. So I went to Sainsbury's this morning, I got a load of ingredients to make the Christmas cookies, which was an absolute nightmare by the way, because it is December and it's very, very busy down there. But yeah, I went and got those this morning. Now, just to kind of clarify what I mean by Christmas cookies, what we're actually going to be making in today's video, essentially I'm going to try and make shortbread cookies with Christmas decorations on them. I bought some fondant icing and some normal kind of squirty icing, if that's even the proper terminology. But I bought a load of that sort of stuff. So yeah, we're just gonna make some shortbreads, kind of hopefully shaped like Christmas stuff, and then we'll end up decorating it with different theme park rides and so on and so forth. Okay, so I don't really usually bake, so I'm not really entirely sure what I'm doing here. So I am following the recipe on my phone. I believe it's just a standard recipe I found on Google, so it's not anything special. But yeah, I'm looking at it at the minute and it kind of looks like IKEA instructions to me. I'm not exactly entirely sure what any of this is meant to mean, but we're going to give it a go because why not? But yeah, it looks like we're basically making these off of pictures, which is either going to be a really helpful thing or, you know, really, really difficult to read, but we'll see. Okay, so before we get into the actual plan for today's video, I did just want to mention how awful I look in this video, and I do absolutely apologise for that. I put way too much clay in my hair, and also I didn't trim my beard, so it was really, really scraggly, so I do apologise for that. But moving on, the plan for today's video is, of course, to make the actual cookies themselves. I'm then going to attempt to decorate them, keyword in attempt, and then I'm going to invite over one of my best friends who has featured on the channel before, Tom, and we're going to try the cookie, and he's going to actually rank each of the decorations that I've done. So there's a little bit of pressure riding on this, but I hope that I can do them justice. So without further ado, let's get right back into the video. Okay, so I've now found some bowls, luckily. I've got a bigger one and a smaller one, just in case we need them both. There is actually a video on that website for this specific recipe. The only issue is it doesn't actually tell you how much stuff to put in. So as you can see here, it puts an undisclosed amount of butter in and then absolutely cakes it in sugar. So I'm not entirely sure what we've got to do. I do apologise, my phone's a bit dirty. So I'm not entirely sure what we've got to do here, but I'm going to whack some of this utterly butterly into one of these bowls here, and then we'll just see how it goes. Okay, so I'm not going to put loads of butter in because obviously don't want to overdo it straight off the mark. So I'm going to just kind of spoon some in until I think that there's enough in there, and hopefully that works. Okay then, so I put about that much butter in. I think that's kind of matches what's on the video. I'm not going to kind of do it to a T. You know, it's not the most complex recipe in the world, so it's probably not going to matter how much is going into it. You know, I think that's famous last words though. So now I believe it's time for the sugar. So I'm gonna kind of put some of the sugar into this bowl here and then tip it in. Okay, so I think that's more than enough sugar in there. So it does in the video, just tip it. Oh, you know, that's quite a bit. Yeah, that should be all right. I don't think that's that big of a deal. I hope. Okay, I'm just gonna maybe tip a little bit of this out. So this is the trouble with having to eyeball it. Because there's no exact measurements, I think that's probably all right for the minute. I'll get mixing and then we'll see where it comes out at. Okay, so let's get mixing. I have actually got a whisk, so I'm not entirely unprepared, I must say. But it does say in the video they're using an electric whisk. I've only got one of these ones. So I'm just going to have to do it by hand, unfortunately. But yeah, let's hope this actually works. It seems to be going all right so far. I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. Okay, so this isn't actually looking too bad. It's a nice creamy texture. That's what it says to make in the recipe. So I'm assuming this is fine for now. Obviously, if we get a little bit further on and I think I need to add a little bit more, then I don't think that's going to be a massive problem. But yeah, at the moment, I'm actually kind of liking how it's looking. Unfortunately, I have only now just realised that there is actually like the specifications for how much to put in. I just completely missed them. So hopefully that's enough, then that's the right amount. But yeah, from now on I'll refer to that rather than just eyeballing it, because I think this is going to go a lot smoother if we do that. But yeah, I think next up we've got the eggs and the vanilla extract, and that's pretty much quite closely the main kind of base for the batter, if that's what it's called, the batter, the dough, or whatever it's meant to be called. I'm not a baker, I don't really know. So yeah, it's actually going all right at the minute, although I can see something potentially going wrong with the eggs because I'm not very good at cracking eggs. But yeah, I'll give it a damn good go, and hopefully it turns out all right. Okay, so I now have to put in 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract, I think. It says 1.5 TSP. I don't know if that means tablespoon or teaspoon, but I'd imagine it's tablespoon, because I think, you know, that's quite a lot of vanilla extract if we're using tablespoons. So I'm going to use a teaspoon, and we're going to get 1.5 into the bowl, and then I believe it's time for the eggs. Okay, I've got to be really careful here because I've got really shaky hands. So yeah, I'm just hoping I don't spill vanilla extract everywhere with a bit of luck. Right, here we go. Okay, so that is 1 teaspoon. I'd say it's about a teaspoon there. I don't know if you guys can see that on the camera. I think that's about enough. So let's put that in there, and then you just need half on the next one. So with a bit, there we go. I reckon that's about half. Okay, there we go. That went a lot more smoothly than I thought it was going to. I'm actually having a wonderful time. I'm sitting here listening to the Wicked soundtrack while I'm baking this. Anyone who's seen Wicked will know that that's a completely valid thing to do. The soundtrack's absolutely phenomenal. And if you haven't seen Wicked, go and see it. It's really, really good. I know that makes it sound really, really cringe, but I ain't apologising to no one. It's an absolutely banger of a soundtrack. Okay, so the vanilla extract is now in. I'll turn the camera around and I can show you what's actually in the bowl. So the vanilla extract's kind of just sitting in there. I think I've got to add the eggs next and then mix it in. But yeah, I think right now, I think the worst is behind us. I think that most of the issue is going to be the eggs. But once we're past that, I think we should be all right. Okay, so it's just 1 large egg that I've got to put in here, which is good because if I had to crack multiple, then that's a lot higher chance of me screwing things over. So let's crack this egg and attempt to get it in without any of the eggshells going along with it, which is a lot harder than it sounds, at least for me. So let's give it a crack. Give it a crack. See, Christmas jokes out already. Right, let's go. Okay, let's see if we can crack it. I'm cracking jokes. I'm nervous. I actually don't like cracking eggs. This is a horrible experience for me. I know, sorry you guys can't see this, but there's no way I'm cracking this egg with just one hand holding the camera and the other trying to crack the egg, because that just is asking for it to go wrong. Oh dear. Okay, I got a decent crack. Oh no. Okay, that's not too bad. I don't think any shells went in, but I made a bit of a pig's ear of it. But it is in the bowl, and I can't see any shells in there, so mission accomplished. I've got really sticky hands now. Okay, so what I've got to do now is whisk this until it's all combined. Oh God, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so while other me is whisking the eggs into the kind of mixture that we've got, I do want to kind of take the time to extend a bit of a thank you to you guys. Now that we're coming towards the end of the year, you know, I just wanted to say thank you for all your support. There's been so many lovely messages and so many lovely comments on the videos. You know, I absolutely love you guys. Even though there's only a few of you, that don't matter to me. You know, I appreciate every single one of you. So yeah, I'm going to stop being a little bit soppy now. Let's get back to the baking. Okay, so it does actually say 3 cups of flour. Unfortunately, I don't really have any kind of measuring cups that are used for baking. But in the video, they do kind of show like a regular sized bowl that has the flour in it and then tips it all in. So I've kind of gone off of that fact. I've got, you know, a couple of, you know, handfuls of flour in here. Hopefully that's enough. So let's pour this in here. Hopefully this is what's going to give it that doughy kind of texture that helps us shape the actual shape of the cookies. But yeah, at the minute I'm quite liking the way it's looking. It does say it's going to be a bit clumpy once the flour's in. I'm assuming that's just because of the texture that it's going to go. But at the moment it smells really good, and yeah, it's looking like we're kind of towards the end of the actual kind of mixing part of the baking, which is good. And then we can get on to shaping them and decorating them, which is obviously the fun part. Okay, so I've got my mix just off to the side there. What we have to do now is obviously mould this into whatever we're going to make it. So to start that off, we need to kind of add a bit of flour, it says, to the actual kitchen worktop. I've disinfected it, so it's all clean. So yeah, let's give it a bit of a sprinkle. I don't really know how much. I think that probably is going to be enough. I'm not really sure. Right, then it's just to scrape the contents of this bowl out into here, which is where this could start going a little bit wrong if we're not careful. Okay, gosh, it's looking a bit droopy, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if it's meant to be that kind of texture or whether it's meant to be a little bit firmer, but we'll kind of roll with it for now, see if it works out. Okie dokie, so I've got some freshly washed hands now, give them a bit of dry off. Right, now moment of truth. Okay, that's not looking good so far, right. So I'm just gonna, friggin' hell, right, this is falling apart, quite literally in my hands. Right, where's the flour? Let me add a bit more flour. It says to mould it into 2 main bits, but I'm struggling to get it into one. I think we're getting somewhere. It's going a little bit more how I would expect it to go, if that makes sense. I need something to scrape this off my hands with, because I'm running out of mixture. It's not going. Yeah, it's not going very well. Look, it's not gone in. It's not firm enough. I can't actually.
Is that meant to be finished?
No,
Like, is that the cookie dough?
what is going on? Please help. I don't know what I've done wrong. I followed the recipe.
Was the recipe in cups?
Yeah.
That's why.
What have I done wrong then?
Because
Okay, so that didn't exactly go to plan. Obviously, the reason in which that didn't go to plan was completely my fault. I just didn't really follow the instructions at all. And then my sister notified me that even if I had followed the instructions, they were all in cups, so it wouldn't really have equated into grams. So yeah, it was overall just quite a bit of a disaster. I got mixed everywhere, all over my hands, all over the walls. I mean, that's a bit dramatic. It wasn't all over the walls, but it was all over the side. And yeah, it wasn't exactly the best of things. However, I did decide to remake the mix, or the dough that is, and it actually came out a lot better. So that's where we're going to pick up from now, and you'll be glad to know that it actually gets a little bit better from this point. So yeah, enjoy. Okay, so I'm back. that did not go to plan like at all. I've made a new batch of dough that actually looks like dough now. So yeah, that should help with a bit of luck. So yeah, so let's just carry on from where we left off. Apparently, my sister walked in earlier. Apparently, it was because I was measuring it in cups and it wasn't really properly measured flour-wise. So that now isn't the case. I've now got it as just a standard shortbread recipe that's in grams. So this is a lot more helpful. Okay, so I think that's a pretty good starting point. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I don't actually have any cookie cutters, so I'm just gonna have to kind of wing it. My initial thought this morning was that I wanted to get some like Christmassy cookie cutters, but I couldn't find any. I scoured Poundland, I scoured Sainsbury's, I couldn't find any anywhere. So I'm just gonna use a knife to kind of cut these into squares, and then we'll do all the Christmassy decorating on the top, rather than kind of having them shaped as Christmas things. But I think, to be fair, the way this video's gone, that's probably the easier way to go. Okay, so quick update. I found cookie cutters, which is actually quite a bit of a blessing. So I've redone all the dough. I'm going to do 3-ish small kind of circles to decorate. Hopefully they're still big enough, but they should be. So now the dough was actually in the oven. Like, I genuinely didn't think that was going to happen at a certain point in this video. Like, I was really, really stressed. All I could really do at this point was just hope that the oven didn't explode. And the way the rest of the video had gone, that wasn't exactly a possibility to be ruled out. So that was a little bit worrying, but I was glad the stress was kind of over now. It was kind of dissipating, and I was just kind of getting ready and kind of thinking about what I was going to actually decorate the cookies with. And of course, this is where the hard part comes in, because whilst the cooking was hard, at the end of the day, I was following instructions. The decorations, of course, I'm not following instructions, I'm just absolutely winging it, so this has the possibility to go really, really badly. So yeah, let's jump right into me getting the cookies out the oven. So I just got them out of the oven, they're looking really good, look at these! Oh my days, look, they're actual cookies. They didn't die in the oven, thank Christ. Okay, so the plan now is just to kind of let them stand for 10 minutes before I put any of the decorations on. But speaking of the decorations, I do want to just go through everything that I've actually got. For starters, I've got your bog standard writing icing, but the main kind of component that I bought is this fondant icing. Now, I don't actually know how this is going to go, but it looks like it's almost like clay, so you can kind of mould things. I don't know whether it's going to work, but I'm willing to give it a try. There's a few different colours here. There's a few more than in the writing icing. This one we've got green, blue, red, black and yellow, which is a good variety of colours, I think, personally. And then finally we have the soft white icing. I'm a bit annoyed that they didn't come with any of the fondant icing in the colour white, because I had to buy a whole pack of white icing. And knowing the fact that I was probably going to be doing a few snowflakes, I kind of needed white icing. It kind of didn't make sense not to have white icing. So yeah, that's all the stuff we've got. I'm going to wait a little bit longer, and then hopefully we'll be ready to do the decorations. Okay, so they seem to have kind of stood for long enough now, I think, and let's get onto the decorating. So I just kind of want to do a little bit of a brainstorm beforehand, because I don't really know what I'm going to do for some of these. I do have a couple of ideas. First one is involving these two colours here, and anyone who's been involved in the UK theme park industry over the last year may know what these two colours could represent. And yes, you guys may have guessed already, that is Nemesis. I had to do a Nemesis one, there was no way I wasn't. But as for the other ones, I don't really know. It's kind of a bit up in the air. I have got one smaller one that I do want to do something a little bit different with, so we'll get to that when we get to it, basically. But as for the other colours, we've got a green, we've got a yellow, and we've got a blue. So I don't really know what else we could do here, and of course a white as well. Now my mind instantly does go to Galactica, obviously because blue is quite synonymous with Galactica and particularly the white as well. So that is definitely an option. But as for Thorpe Park rides, I think I know exactly what I want to do with this yellow icing. And anyone who's kind of watched the channel over the last few months will know that it's definitely going to be Hyperion. There's no way that I'm not going to do a Hyperion one, particularly if we've got yellow icing. It's honestly my favourite ride ever now, which is just kind of insane to think about that that's at Thorpe Park. So yeah, yellow icing is definitely going for that one. Now as for the green, I kind of want to do something a little bit different. Obviously I'm primarily a UK theme park YouTuber, mainly because I live in the UK. However, and I'm yet to experience anything outside of the UK. However, there is one ride that I have pretty much right at the top of my bucket list in Universal Islands of Adventure in Florida, and that is the Velocicoaster. So that's probably going to be the most difficult design out of these four, plainly because I don't know what I'm going to do. There's no way I'm crafting a dinosaur to put on a cookie, like that's just not feasible. But I can use the green for plants, so I'm going to keep cooking up in the upstairs region on that one, see whether I can think of anything. But yeah, that's kind of the main plan, I think, for the four different cookies. This is kind of where this is make or break really now. Like the cookies have come out alright, I'm happy with the cookies, but the decorated side of things is obviously where there's a lot of room for things to go wrong, so I'm praying that I'm, you know, artistic enough to actually pull something off. So let's give it a go. Okay, so at this point I was geared up and ready, but I also had exactly no clue what I was doing. So I was pretty much the singular definition of all the gear and no idea at this point. But obviously the struggle was going to be kind of trying to find what to do with these limited colours, because at the end of the day, you know, colour is quite a big part of that theme parks. They're very colourful places to be, but I think I came up with some decent ideas, and I was kind of hopeful at this point that everything was going to start to kind of smooth out and be a bit smooth sailing, which it actually was. The video actually kind of streamlines itself a little bit now, and nothing really major goes wrong, which is obviously good, yeah. But at this point I'm just kind of waiting for the cookies to set so that they don't kind of go all horrible and crumbly. But yeah, so far there's been a few struggles, but we haven't ended the video yet, so we're just going to push on and see how well we can do with the decorating, so let's go. Okay, so starting off with the one I feel like I'm the most confident with, I'm going to give the Nemesis one a go first. Now I'm going to clarify, I kind of want to do more of a Phalanx logo than Nemesis itself. My initial kind of thought was maybe doing the Nemesis monster with a Christmas hat on, but I just don't think, I think that's way too complex. So I'm just going to use the black and red and try and, you know, create the Phalanx logo, maybe give it a bit of a Christmas twist. Okay, so I've got the Phalanx logo up on my phone now, and I've already got a few ideas. So I think I'm going to do a main kind of red body on the base of the cookie, and then maybe do the Phalanx symbol in black. I think that's probably the best way to go. Then I can maybe add some white snowflakes around the actual symbol itself. Kind of go with a bit of a thinner layer first and see how it goes. It seems to be smoothing out right though. It is literally like malleable like clay, he says as he breaks it apart like an idiot. Okay, so I've got the main body on. I just kind of had to figure out what to do with the overhang, because I've got quite a bit hanging over the edge. I'd kind of like it just on the top. So I'm going to try and take a knife to it and slice it open. Okay, so this symbol I'm just going to try and break down into like shapes, because I think it's going to be easier to do it that way rather than trying to carve out the entire symbol on the first go. Alrighty, I think that's looking pretty damn good. Okay, I don't think this is looking too sad so far, so I've managed to kind of get the winged bits on the actual logo itself. I mean, don't get it wrong, it looks like it's been farted out by a unicorn, but it does kind of look like the Phalanx logo, which is what I'm going for. So, okay, so that is cookie number one finished, if you can call that finished. I think that looks right. I think it looks nice and Christmassy. It doesn't exactly look the cleanest, but at the end of the day, it's icing. You're not going to get it completely clean cut. So yeah, that's the Phalanx one down. Okay, so my camera is currently in the process of dying right now. So I'm going to finish off the cookies that I'm doing. I'm going to do all the decorations and stuff, and I'm going to reveal them all to you guys once I'm actually finished, just to give my camera a little bit of time to charge up. So at this point, I was really annoyed that my camera died, because obviously I would have liked to have kind of finished the video over the course of the evening. But obviously not everything works out that way, and to be honest I was kind of glad for the little bit of a break that we got. But yeah, so far it's been going alright. I've waited till the next morning to obviously show you guys the cookies. You'll see that in just a second. And obviously the following evening, Tom's arrival was absolutely imminent. So we were kind of gearing up to taste the cookies for the first time. I think I did kind of make a bit of an oopsie that I'll kind of get into a little bit more when Tom's over. But I did accidentally leave them in the fridge for too long, so they kind of went a bit stale. But I think overall you'll see that the cookies kind of weren't as bad as I thought they were going to come out as. But yeah, it's been a really fun video so far. I'm really glad that I've kind of pushed through it and not just given up when the mixture kind of went all bad. But yeah, so this is going to be the final little animated segment because obviously Tom's going to come over right after I film the next bit. And yeah, then we're going to try the cookies for ourselves. Okay then, so it's now the morning. I've let the icing harden overnight and now it's time to give you guys a tour of all the different cookies we've made. So I'm going to start off with the one you already know about that you kind of saw me do a little bit of in the video, and that is the Phalanx one. Now this is one of the ones that I'm not entirely sure came out the best, but it looks good enough to me. You kind of got the Phalanx logo and then the little snowflakes around the outside. It doesn't look the best, but at the end of the day, like, it was never going to look like Picasso. Yeah, and then moving on to the smaller cookie that I did, I made my little face. Well, it's not my little face specifically, but it's my character's little face. I thought it'd be kind of fun with the smaller one to do that, you know, just to do something a little bit different. But then moving on to another ride one, we have the Hyperion cookie. Now, this is one I didn't exactly think came out perfect. It kind of mucked up with the lines when I was trying to do the silhouette. But yeah, again, it doesn't look terrible. I've got like the snow on the bottom and then the actual kind of silhouette itself. And then moving on to the next cookie, we have a Galactica one. Now this one was kind of tricky and it didn't exactly come out exactly how I wanted it to. I kind of was hoping that I'd be able to do the portal and then kind of have the flaps around the outside. You know, but at the end of the day, some things just aren't possible with icing, especially with my expertise. And then finally we have the Jurassic Park Universal cookie. Now this one kind of went for a little bit of a weird state because initially I wanted this one to be to do with Velocicoaster, but I just couldn't figure out how to do a Velociraptor skull with icing. It just wasn't working. So I did kind of like a normal, kind of like a Triceratops or like a Stegosaurus kind of spine there, just to kind of make it a little bit like dinosaurs. But yeah, other than that, I'm really proud of how this has gone. You know, they look really good in my opinion, but whether or not they taste the same is very, very different. I'm hoping that they do taste nice. Like I said earlier on in the video, I'm going to get my friend Tom to come around and taste these with me. So that's going to happen tomorrow because he was busy tonight, so it's going to happen tomorrow now. But yeah, he's going to come over, we're going to try them and we'll see if they actually taste right. Some of them I think I might have put a little bit too much icing on, which I'm a little bit worried about, but other than that, I think they're looking pretty good. So without further ado, I won't keep you guys waiting. It's another day for me, but I won't keep you guys waiting. Let's go and meet Tom at the door. Okay, so I'm now joined with the one and only Mr. Thomas Wright.
Hello there.
How are you doing, Tom?
Doing good, thanks.
Tom obviously appeared, if long-term viewers of the channel will know, Tom appeared in a couple of vlogs towards the beginning of this year. You joined me at Chessington and Legoland, didn't you, Tom?
Yes, I did.
You did.
It was like forever ago, doesn't
Yeah, it does. Oh my God, it was so long ago. So yeah, let's get to trying some of these cookies. Now, Tom hasn't seen them at all, the decorations, so it's going to be his first time seeing it, and I have told him that if he thinks they're shit, let it rip. Because
I'm basically poor Hollywood.
he's basically Paul Hollywood and I'm Mary Berry. So we're gonna taste them together because I'd quite like to try them as well. And then Tom's gonna give his brutally honest opinion on them, and we'll see how well we've actually done. Okay, so me and Tom are now in our baking positions, and we're about to try the cookies. How are you feeling, Tom? How you feeling?
I'm feeling, I mean,
Scared?
well, no, because okay, I love biscuits. I'm like a biscuit connoisseur.
Oh,
So
really?
I really like biscuits, and I've never really had bad ones. So
Okay, well that could easily change today, so I wouldn't hold your hopes too high. Right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go through each of the cookies first, and then Tom's going to try and guess what they are essentially. So Tom isn't really an enthusiast like Tom. You enjoy theme parks, but you're not like, you wouldn't know everything about
no,
There's
especially the UK ones as well.
Precisely. So we're going to go through. There's one in here, one cookie in here that you will, I know for a fact, you've been to in the theme park, but it's not in this country.
Okay. Right.
So, for a bit of backstory, Tom's been to Florida multiple times, haven't you, Tom? Whereas I haven't, so I'm really, really jealous. So we're going to go through each of the cookies and we'll see if you can figure out which one will win. So,
Sure.
to start off with, and Tom already knows this one because I just accidentally told him. What do you think this is, Tom?
I originally thought there was a ghost representing Fright Night, but apparently you told me it's just your
It is,
logo.
yeah. So Tom thought it was a ghost. I'll put a bit of a better view of it.
It's white and black.
It is, and to be fair, yeah, it does look like a ghost. So that is the first one. That's kind of the little taster, because that's not necessarily themed to anything. That was just an extra one that I did. So now, which one do you want to start with? Just pick one at random.
Let's do this one.
This one, okay. Right, so Tom has picked out this one. This is one of my least favourite ones that I did, because I just don't think it turned out the way I wanted it to.
And yet, ironically, it's your favourite ride.
It is, and I think Tom knows this one. What do you think it is, Tom?
It's Hyperion.
It is Hyperion.
Because I thought, like, I saw the clouds and I was like, okay, there's definitely not a mountain, but then I saw the tracks, so I was like, yeah, okay. That's
Yeah,
definitely
and I'll let you in a little secret, Tom. They're not actually meant to be clouds. That's meant to be snow. but clouds works too.
Right.
Clouds works too.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a bit of a more obscure one that I don't think you'll get, but I'll be really impressed if you do. Is this one. So this is that one. This was the first one I decorated, by the way, as well, Tom. So give that a look. What do you reckon?
I mean, I can see it looks a bit like a dress, like a
Okay, good
maybe
start.
like a black gown.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. It's a symbol, but I've done it really badly, so it doesn't look like a symbol. It's a ride. Oh, it's a ride at Alton Towers.
Okay, so I'm trying to think of the rides at Alton Towers.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't know about Alton Towers much to do before. So at Alton Towers you've got Wickham,
Yeah.
Swarm.
Yeah. No, Swarm's at Foot Park. You're on the right
Oh,
track.
sorry, no,
Yeah. No. You're on the right track.
Smiler.
Yep. Close though. Very close. Like insanely close.
So close to Nemesis Inferno.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm not sure your knowledge on the, but you are very close. It's like tippy top. Okay.
Swarm?
No, I'll give it to you though, Tom, because you pretty much were very close on the mark. It's Nemesis.
Oh, so it's just
so it's the original Nemesis.
Oh right, okay, fair. So I'm gonna Google the Nemesis logo and see how they.
So yeah, Tom's going to look up what these are actually meant to look like, so that he can kind of, actually have an opinion on how I've decorated them. So that is what it was meant to be. I did the red bag.
I
But it's not great.
I can kind of, hey, this is the logo it's meant to be. I can kind of see
It doesn't look like it. It's not. It's a bit. I mean, like I said, that was the first one I did, so that one isn't exactly going to look exactly how it's meant to. Right. The next one, I'm going to say the one I think you will get to last. This is your next one, Tom. So I'll show it to the camera quickly. This is the one that really doesn't look like a ride at all, and I would struggle to get this if I hadn't made it. I'll give you a bit of a hint. It's a portal. But I'm not sure that's going to help you or not.
Not really. I mean, like,
It's another Alton Towers ride.
another Alton Towers. What else is it? Reeds at Alton Towers?
You've pretty much got every single roller coaster bar this one so far. You've said each of the roller coasters at Alton Towers bar that one and one other one.
There is something I'm not getting. I think it's, so I said Swan, I said Wickham,
Yeah.
I said Reeds, I said the Smile.
Yeah.
This is there because Nemesis.
It's in the same area as Nemesis. I'm not sure
That's that.
Yeah.
That helps me greatly.
Okay.
I've got that.
Okay, I'll give you this one. It's Galactica. So you search up.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it just doesn't look like it. I did the colours the wrong way round.
Yeah, you definitely.
I did the blue. I did the blue as the base.
What's the point of the Christmas tree
Because I
in the
thought
middle?
I was hoping it was going to be like, oh, like it's mysterious. You're going through the portal into
No,
Christmas.
that doesn't work. I'm sorry.
Okay, right, I'll concede defeat on that one. Right, now Tom, this is the one I hope you're going to get, because I know for a fact you've been in this area before.
Yes, I think.
And I think you already know what it is.
Yes.
Right, so I'm going to show you this for the camera. This was the last one that I did.
Yes.
So it's probably the most difficult to figure out.
So that, what I think it is obviously, I still knew it was a dinosaur straight
Yeah,
away.
okay,
And
good.
I thought, what could that possibly have to do with the UK? Until you mentioned Florida.
Yeah, it's not
So
a UK one.
So I'm thinking of the Boneyard in Animal Kingdom.
No.
Really?
Yeah, no, you're on the right track though. You're on the...
Velocicoaster?
Yeah, so I'll take you through my thought process with it. I initially wanted to do a Velociraptor skull
Yes.
for Velocicoaster,
Yeah.
but then I quickly realised that
That'd be
yeah,
the ambitious.
exactly. So I just did like a normal dinosaur rib cage to symbolise the Jurassic Park area as well.
Right, fair enough.
So you were close though. You pretty much was there, so it's fine. Okay, right.
Moment of truth.
So that's Tom trying to guess the decoration. What would you rate the decorations as a whole? Out of 10, what do you, how do you reckon I've done? Now that you've seen the photos of what they're meant to be and stuff.
I mean,
Be brutally honest.
I could definitely. I mean, I couldn't do better. I'll be honest.
Okay.
I give them about 5.
Okay, I'll
I'll take a 5.
I literally said at the beginning of this video I'll take a 5 out of 10. So as long as the cookie tastes nice, and that's at least a 5 out of 10, I'm counting this as a success. So, okay, should we try one, Tom?
Let's do this.
Let's try. We'll try this one. I think it's pretty fitting, right? So I'm going to absolutely desecrate his face. So let's get it broken in half.
Oh, that's pretty seamless.
Yeah. Okay. So we've broken it into 2 pieces. Would you like the big bit or the small bit, Tom?
I mean, I'm quite hungry, so I'll go there.
You can go that with the big bit. Okay. Alright, let's give this a go. I have just cleaned my teeth as well, so it's brilliant. So it's absolutely brilliant. Right, you ready, Tom? 3, 2, 1. What is that face?
It's a little dry.
Yeah. I'll admit though, I did leave it in the fridge for too long, so that's probably why it's a bit dry. It's changed like shortbread. Ish.
I mean, pretty hard to screw up shortbread.
Except I screwed it up some.
I would tone it a little bit on the icing. I mean, the
That was my one
I
worry.
mean, the icing's a bit too thick and kind of overpowers everything.
Yeah.
But
As
the
a shortbread
the
goes.
actual biscuit itself is actually quite nice.
Okay, I'm happy with that. Okay, so give it a score out of 10, same way you did with the decorations on taste. But again, be brutally honest. I'm open to any and all criticism on these because I know they're terrible.
Like I said, I'm a massive fan of biscuits and shortbread. Shortbreads are one of my favourite
I
things
love
as well.
shortbread, yeah.
And like I said, the actual biscuit is quite nice. It's just the icing.
The icing.
The icing's a bit too much. But I would give that no more than a 6.
Okay, I'm happy with a 6. I'm happy with a 6. That is a success to a certain degree. I'm happy you enjoyed them, Tom. I'm glad that you at least got one of the cookie decorations right. Because I was kind of going into this video thinking, I know Tom doesn't know loads about it.
I
so
got 1 out of 5 right.
Exactly, and that's more than a lot of people would get. I know Amber would struggle to get anymore, so that's fine. So, without further ado, guys, I think that takes us to the end of the video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, make sure to like and subscribe. It really means a lot to me, and I'm absolutely buzzing to get some of these videos made over the next few months. I've got some really cool ideas to do, and yeah, I'm sure Tom will end up popping up on the channel again.
That's likely.
If you haven't seen any of the other videos Tom's in, go and check out my Legoland vlog and my Chessington vlog from this year. They're a little bit older, so they're not as good, but the beautiful Tom does feature.
Please make a playlist. Just like
Tom
playlist.
I'll make a Tom playlist. So yeah. So thank you again, Tom,
Thanks
for
having me on.
coming and trying the cookies and almost risking being poisoned. And yeah, without further ado, guys, I hope you have a brilliant rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.